Hey guys, this is Rabia from Rabia's Rapid Fire. Hope you are doing well. I was asked by a lot of people to post a detailed experience, so I made a PowerPoint and converted it into a video format and tried to make it as systemic as possible and dealt with your respective questions that you send me at the end. So I divided it into like 4 parts. So part 1 is like 10 days before the exam. Part 2 is like 1 day or night before the exam. Part 3 is on the exam day. And part 4, I just answered the questions that you guys sent me over. And the last, on the last slide, I just shared my personal secret stash that you may completely ignore, but some people might benefit from it. So I just wanted to share it. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, and just remember, score is just a number, and I think as doctors, we're much more than just a 3-digit score. I'm not a great test taker myself, but I think when I do questions at home, I'm really I'm good at it, but sometimes I just cannot perform. Whenever I used to see those 260 plus stories circling around, I used to be really demotivated, and I'm sure you do too. So whenever you feel like that, just remember that they're not telling you the entire story. Everybody has their own problems, burdens, and priorities. And I did this with a newborn who just turned a toddler, and I'm sure that you can do it too. I don't want to do a score reveal here, but just so you know, I did pretty well, more than that than expected, thank God, which is what that has motivated me to write up and share with people who think they're too far gone and can't do this anymore. Anyway. So part 1. What do you do, or what did I do 10 days before the exam? So remember, this time is to consolidate. You cannot go around finding new Q banks or discovering new strategies to study. One other thing that I did was I made like notes on big, huge paper sheets. I don't know where to get them. I think you'll get them at the art store. I used to write down all my notes or whatever things that I need to remember on those notes, on those sheets of paper, and I stuck them on the wall, like literally on the wall in my main family room. So whenever when I was like walking to the kitchen or just walking randomly in the house for a break, I used to like casually look over in that direction, and that kind of stuck in my head. Like, for example, things that I find really hard to do, for example, the RTA types, causes, and their presentations, I just cannot understand them. So what I did was I just made a giant nifron, and I just made like arrows going in and out of that, and just wrote the respective causes close to the proximal, which is the RTA type 1, and then the distal one, which is the RTA type 2, so that I would remember it in the long run. So I think that really helped me 10 days before my exam. Then this is the time to do questions and blocks that you're weak on. So for example, I find Müllerian agenesis, androgen insensitivity, alpha reductase deficiency very difficult to differentiate. I used to, not anymore, but I used to. So what I did was I just made a block of these 3 topics and just did them so I could kind of see the difference between the 3 diseases. And now the good thing about Uworld is that it's letting you choose the topics you want to strengthen on, so you could really work up on your weaknesses. Or if you don't want to do that, what you can do is do a block of your wrong or marked questions, and then or any topic that you find difficult. And remember, if you're doing this for the second time, you have already answered the how. Now you need to answer the why and the what. right? Like you got a question wrong, and then you look back at it, you want to see why I got this wrong. You want to see what do I need to look for in the question stem. So this second phase, or this 10 days before the exam, answer the questions with two questions in your mind: why and what. The how is over. Now it's a time for a why and a what, okay? Now, one of the other things that helped me was the AMBOSS library. I love AMBOSS. It has completely changed the way I look at a question. And this was suggested to me by a tutor of USMLE. I did not know what AMBOSS was, and I think AMBOSS, the questions, the way they, especially the 4 and 5 hammer questions, they really help in sort of consolidating your knowledge that Uworld does not really help you with. For example, Uworld will not it will tell you that, but it will kind of make you figure it out yourself. Like, it will give you the whole paragraph of information that you're most likely to skip. But AMBOSS would kind of say that same thing in 3 lines. And you were like, whoa, I missed that completely. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, so yeah, now 10 days before the exam, if you are a note taker like me, you should start reading your notes. And I feel that really helped me in those last 10 days more than keep doing questions after question after questions. I think my own notes were the best thing in the world for me. Also, you need to kind of slow down in the last 10 days because you're very likely to go in a burnout phase. And it has happened, and then you will not be able to save yourself, and it will be really exhausted on the exam day. So just kind of slow down a little bit. Yeah, and do some suggestions that I think are really helpful that I did is to just make sure that you have your off-screen time, and yeah, don't make the mistake that I did. Don't take your second dose of the vaccine by any chance close to your exam, because that was the thing that made me delay my exam, because I had horrible side effects. So yeah, make sure you kind of delay your second dose if it's coming close, or take it right after your exam. Other thing is that you need to visit the center the day before and just kind of familiarize yourself with the place around. Just walk around and just the coffee shops where you can pick your coffee. Ideally, Panera, it opens at 6 a.m. So that's the best thing for you. And yeah, it helps with the anxiety as well. For overwhelming anxiety, start your cell phone propranolol 40 milligrams a week before, but don't like go overboard. I tried that for the whole week before my exam, and I forgot it on the day of my exam. So yeah, don't be like me. You need to pack your snack, and if you're wondering what I took, I just wrote down whatever I took, and I think you can just read up on that yourself. Um, yeah, one thing that I wanted to emphasize on is to sleep before the exam, and I really have a lot of anxiety before the exam, so I used to take this liquid melatonin by Natrol. I started taking this like almost 3 weeks before my exam. But guess what? It did not work the night before the exam. So the good thing is, even if you take it, there are no lingering side effects of being drowsy the next day. But sometimes people really get like a good night's deep sleep on this liquid melatonin. It also kicks in faster because it's liquid. Also, I wrote down what you should take for the exam, like Tylenol, Motrin, whatever, and I took my migraine meds with me, and I took a prophylactic dose of Motrin right in the fourth block, the break of the fourth block. Although I did not have a headache at that time, it just helped me sort of, excuse me, just avoid that thing coming up, the headache, because I hate that feeling. I just cannot focus anymore. All right. Yeah, one thing is that a sleep hypnosis by Sarah. I'll just probably just post a link to her. It's a YouTube channel, and she really helps you kind of detangle your thoughts. And I tried that a month before my exam, and it really helped me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. The night before or the day before, you should not study after 5 p.m. Do not be like me. I try to study till I think 9 p.m. and it was really hard for me to fall asleep after that. And just go over the difficult biostat formulae, and your own notes are your best friend. If you are traveling to another state, which I did, you might want to consider taking a fan or a white noise device with you, because I had a horrible experience at the hotel that I was staying in. Their fan was not working, and I had to move my room at 2 in the morning, and I just got 5 hours of sleep before my exam, which was good enough, thank God, but still, you don't want to get into that phase of stress, you know. Yeah, there's just some of the strategies that I followed. You can go